Alright, testing 1, 2. Hopefully this is working. Hopefully I'm not too loud. How is everyone doing, by the way? It's been a good minute since we've done one of these streams. In fact, last time I did this kind of stream, I didn't even have this setup that I have now. Well, at least as far as things on my end are concerned. Everything looks mostly the same, but there were a few changes that I have made. And there are still some things that are incomplete at this moment, in fact. So let me go ahead and fix that while I'm at it. Okay, so I guess with that in mind, got that. Now we have to go through this process again. So, to the handful of you that are watching, I'm not expecting a big crowd tonight. But one thing about it, some of you are probably wondering, Ty, why are you covering a winter weather event? And that's precisely why. How you doing, G, bro? Well, I guess you know precisely why I'm covering this. There's actually a chance that you guys might get some thunder snow if you haven't already. But yeah, I've been watching South Bend throughout the course of the last couple hours. I've been seeing this snow band that's been kind of blowing in from the northwest. It really comes as no surprise that you guys are getting it pretty bad. I now expect that to continue actually into even the overnight hours. So we'll be here for a little bit and hang out, just see what's what. Maybe we can catch up. Maybe if we get lucky, we can catch a live shot of some thunder snow. I would love if this would work though. I've been having issues on and off with the cameras over here towards South Bend and Notre Dame today. That was partially why I was a little bit reluctant to go live. Otherwise I would have went on a little sooner. Maybe I should have. I don't even know at this point. But yeah, this camera has not worked for me at all. This camera might be better, but we'll have to see what happens with that there. I think the storm's just kind of interfering with the signal itself. So I checked my internet, and that is okay. But can't always win every battle, I guess. There's other sources I can use as well. I'm just not trying to completely overwhelm the computer if I don't have to. But seems more and more like we might have to try and go a different route. Because every camera that I have looked at has been an issue so far. Tried refreshing the feed here and not really a whole lot has been going. But just as you said, G-Bro, really? This is what you're talking about, how it's really coming down? It's not surprising at all. Not even in the slightest. Come on, just give me one camera that works. Really? How's the wind over there? I know this storm system was expected to really like deepen around this time. So I'm kind of curious as to what you're experiencing in regards to wind. I don't think weather-wise has a way for me to look at observations right now. There we go. Okay, at least I can look at that. But yeah, I don't think it has a way for me to look at a few gusts around 30. Yeah, that sounds about right then. See, the thing that a lot of people need to remember is despite the fact that the snow is falling and the winds aren't that strong, Those 30-mile-per-hour gusts with any accumulation increases the chance of power outages here. Yeah, it seems like weather-wise is a little bit on the slower side right now. But yeah, it doesn't seem like I have any live observation, which kind of sucks. Can't win every battle, I guess. But what we can do is we can pull up that power outage map. Oh, they've changed the layout now. Kind of like the dark theme better still, though. Can we get that? Ah, there we go. Well, we're under 10,000 over there. There's some good news to be had. Hey, I'd expect that to continue. Like I said, it's probably going to go on all throughout the night, truthfully. Look at I-94 over here. This is north of Warnakey Road. Yeah, you can see, well, it looks like the snowplows have been out from what I've seen today. And they've done a good job of keeping the roads clear. I just wish I could get some motion here so I can get a look at the snowfall. But just not really a whole lot available. I'm going to just try to find some other resources, I guess, because it just seems like Okay, there we go. We got something here. Just had to keep digging, that's all. I'm going to see if I can maybe find one more camera, so that way we can have it on the other side here. But I think what we'll do for the stream is we'll keep, obviously, one live feed on the left side, one to the right, and then, of course, the power outage map. I do expect power outages to increase in the area over time. I do also think that areas, or since we're expecting thundersnow in a couple areas, maybe we can get a lightning tracker on here. Because one thing about it, we don't really get that with the winter weather mode on Weatherwise, I don't think, unless they did another change in the last update. But I don't think they've done that just yet. I get the feeling that it could be coming soon, though. Alright, let me look and see. Standard plus. Oh. Okay, so yeah, it's not really showing me where there will be lightning. I think that's a pro feature. We're not ready to upgrade to that just yet. Now, the one thing I don't love about the DOT cameras in Indiana is that we have to literally refresh like every 10 seconds. So that's a little bit cumbersome, but I will do that for you guys. Wait. Camera just suddenly got brighter. I don't think that was a lightning flash, though. Wouldn't it be something if we got it in like that little 10 to 30 second time frame with this camera, or maybe 1 minute time frame, where we would catch a flash of lightning? Wouldn't that be something? Then again, you never know. It's happened before on our stream. What was I doing? What was I doing? Was I gonna... Is there a way I could pull anything up on YouTube and get clearance to use that? So another thing we're going to also talk about is the weather ahead here, because this is honestly going to be the first round out of many. That's all still, it's not going to work. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot available out there, is there? Sheesh. Well, guess we'll just have to work with what we got. Guess we'll run some music while we're at it. Alright, so I'm gonna give, once I get the music going a bit here, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a rundown as to what we can expect first here. And then we'll kind of check the time, see what the forecast models are gonna look like once the new ones might be set to come in. I think we should be in a good spot where we get a lot of data in right now, so not too worried about that. But let's get into the here and now, and this, of course, with this lake effect snow band. It's a pretty big band that's developed over here. If we were to actually take this into composite, this is all part of a much larger system in total, which is even going to be causing additional snow over towards the mid and even southern parts of the Appalachia here. This has really started to trend south over the last couple of days here, but we can expect a good bit of snowfall, in particular around the Great Lakes. I think that's where our totals are going to be highest, and then we can even start to expect a little bit of totals towards the Adirondacks and maybe even up towards the far northeast as well. One thing to remember though is winter weather advisory criteria. It varies within each state. Like, for example, where I live in the south, so about an inch of snow, or honestly, yeah, I think it's actually about an inch of snow. I was gonna maybe even say half an inch, but it's actually an inch. An inch of snow prompts a winter weather advisory here, whereas up towards places like this, it would take like maybe 3 inches of snow, I think, 2 to 3 inches. And then for winter storm watches and warnings, it's of course higher. So something to consider here. Just because you don't see a winter storm warning doesn't mean that the storm cannot cause its own fair share of problems. You can even see over here that there's a severe thunderstorm warning over towards the far eastern parts of Virginia here. It's about to head into the bay here, and maybe even across the southern part of Delaware here before heading off the coast here for good. But it just shows how dynamic this system is. This wasn't a prolific by any means, but there were a few severe thunderstorm warnings yesterday and the day before as well. One thing that this storm system will definitely do is bring extreme cold into the equation here. And if we were to put this in motion, take a look at the scan, take a look at the wide scan, you can see how the winds are kind of blowing the precipitation around, and you're seeing a lot of the winds coming in from the north. So you're getting that cold air over the lake surfaces, which are above freezing at this point, whereas the air temperature is below freezing. Get that condensation going, get a little shower to come across, runs into that cold air, boom, extra snow. Higher snowfall rates to go along with this. So this is why we have this winter storm warning here that's in effect, including an opportunity for lake effect snow. Hi, Shiori. Oh no, don't tell me this camera's acting up too. Talk about frustrating. These cameras do not want to stay up for me. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this so we can get an idea of where the heaviest snowfall rates are. It looks like it's really about to start to pick up over towards the port, and if we actually shift over so we can get a look at Fort Wayne and areas further off towards the north, maybe I'll get a look at South Bend here. Oh yeah, I don't know if you're still in chat, G bro, but there is a big snow band coming your way. Like, you can see the dark blue on the screen here. You could possibly see rates of about maybe up to 2 inches per hour. That's going to be a big band right there. Then it looks like you might get a little break after that, possibly, given what I'm seeing on radar. And then there might be more to come after that fact. So you're going to see a little bit of a shift from the west here in the winds, most likely. You're going to see more of a southwesterly wind, or northwesterly wind, excuse me. And then maybe a little bit of a tiny curve back off to the... Maybe a little bit of tiny curve off to the west further. Maybe I would say west-northwest. Yeah, I would say west-northwest given the angle. But to answer your question though, Shiori, covering some winter weather for a change here. Didn't have anything to do. Don't have anything pressing to do right now, so I figured, why not? Just cover this and see what's going on here. It's actually a chance for some thunder snow over towards these regions as well, so this is going to be fun. Especially if I can get a live shot of it. Here's a camera. You know, these guys up here in the north, they're used to the lake effect snow, so they can kind of handle it. But if you get caught out in this, it could become a big problem really fast. There have been a few accidents also reported out here towards this area earlier, too. If you're just tuning in, definitely urge you to hit that like button, by the way. And if you're new, definitely urge you to hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to see if we can maybe get the 1400 by the end of the year. I'd love 1500 if it's possible. But, well, screw it. Let's go for 1500. Why not? Love to get more motion on here. Yeah, let's see if we can get the 1500 by the end of the year. Hope you're friendly weather nerd here. keep working for me. If you would, please keep working for me. These cameras don't stay up for long, as I mentioned before, so that is one issue that we will be dealing with throughout the stream. So if you see me suddenly switch, now you know why. I'm looking up some data here on my tablet. Okay. Oh, I want to drop it. Alright, let's see what we have on weather models too while we're at it. We'll also update the power outage map, because right now there's nothing on the map that is gonna pop up until we get past 10,000 outages here. But as it stands right now, Indiana's actually at 8,800, just a little bit over that right now, so we've done well so far, but business may yet continue to pick up. Everywhere else is under 6 or 5,000. Surprising thing is actually Georgia right now. Why are we at 6,400? Like, what's going on there? We don't even have any pressing weather going on here. That was really more Friday and really yesterday, which was surprising. And even then, that wasn't much. Let's see if the new HRRR is completely done. Yep, it is. Okay. Ooh, Zero Z's not, that's pretty fresh as well. We might make good use of that in a little bit. Oh, we found a reliable camera. It seems like it responds pretty well. Okay, so I'm trying to think about how we're going to do this part. So we might be able to show this on weather-wise instead of pulling up another tab here, which might save some extra energy on which might be a little bit easier on the computer. It's going to be important to have that. So yeah, we're going to try it this way. We don't want surface-based cape. That is interesting, though, that we do have some convection there. So that's kind of further verifying that potential for some thunder snow. Let me go ahead and look at general precip if I can find it. Okay. So we just have general. We don't have any precipitation type. Wait. Maybe we do? No, we don't. That's composite reflectivity, 1 kilometer. Okay, so that's not what we want. Okay, if we don't have the more colorful display, we'll probably just go to pivotal weather then. It was worth a try. I had to see if we could make it work, but yeah, it looks like we're going back. We're just gonna stick with that. Just trying to be easier on my computer. I guess that's just too much to ask, I guess. Alright, well, don't want to have to do it this way, but let's go ahead and pull this up here, do this. We'll have the small window up so that we can still keep an eye on the radar. Okay, so now do this. So this doesn't really quite... Oh, this is all the way at the end, that's why. So here's our lake effect snowband here. Watch how this eventually starts to migrate off to the east, but it is going to take its sweet time doing so. So a lot of these areas might get hampered. And if you look really closely, you can actually see a little bit of a tinge of purple right there. That's when you're starting to get into those really heavy snowfall totals here. So somebody in between Chicago and South Bend here might get a walloping of snow. Could push the totals maybe even closer towards like a foot. And then eventually we finally see that lake effect band begin to slowly but surely deteriorate. But even so, it looks like it hangs around even into Monday at this point. In fact, looks like we get a little bit more snow further to the south than anticipated here. Because over the last couple of days I've been watching this, I've noticed the trends pushing a little further to the south, but HRRRs are getting really aggressive with it now. I'm really interested to see just how far to the south that ends up going. Let's look. Ooh. I think it's really cold over towards where I live. I'm gonna maybe have to sleep with the heater on tonight. If we were to go back, look at how that low pressure area with that cold core, just that little bit of precip that's left over from those lake effect bands. The moisture from the lake itself pushes all the way down even into the North Georgia mountains with some snow. That's actually impressive. If we go back one run, we actually could see just how far to the east and or even to the southeast that this might make it. If this would go. There we go. Yeah, it makes it to the North Georgia mountains. Then it starts to finally deteriorate because it runs out of moisture. That's how we get to South Carolina. An interesting fact when it comes to cold air and moisture. A lot of times what will end up happening, because with moisture, with cold air, the moisture tends to dry out. So a lot of times you'll see the moisture kind of outrunning the cold. That is a literal thing that happens. So that's why it's also so complicated for a lot of these southern states like Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi to get snow. Because a lot of times we just don't have enough steam from these, we don't have enough moisture from these storm systems to sustain along with the cold air. If you do get moisture advection, the warm air begins to come in. So that's why whenever you get Gulf moisture with these systems, the snow threat sometimes actually will decrease. It takes very specific conditions in order to get snow in the deep, deep south. That's why Florida sometimes can even get cold air but doesn't really see snow. It's an interesting look at what we have ahead for the next couple of days here. Might see maybe a slight increase in those winter storm watches, possibly a little bit further out towards the east now. I'm gonna wind this back so that I can get a better look at what's going on. So I'm eager to see what happens with Lake Erie over time. If that low were to have pushed further north, I think the totals would be greater there. But I do see some interesting points over here off of Erie, Pennsylvania, maybe even heading into parts of Buffalo potentially. But I don't think this would be anything too far out of the norm. I think out of the norm for them. This is going to be kind of a day-to-day type of situation with them, where we'll have increased chances of snow for a brief period. You'll get those bigger bursts every once in a while, but these aren't going to probably manifest in the same manner as what we're seeing right now. Where's our radar site? Oh, so it wasn't working properly. Okay. There we go. Just being a little pesky, that's all. As you can see, lake effect snow is still ongoing. Zoom in a little tighter so you can see everything a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Try to widen that out just a bit. And that should pretty much do it there. You're starting to see a sudden shift over here with some of the heavier snow a little bit off to the west. So this might actually spare South Bend, at least for the time being, I should say. So this actually would potentially give them a break unless this pushes off to the west along with it. But either way, no matter how you look at it, South Bend is pretty much sandwiched in between two huge snow bands right now. Another area that's getting some pretty hefty snow is over towards the Chicagoland area itself. The Metroplex is getting a pretty good dose of snow. The heaviest stuff is still off to the east here, in the southeast. But I do expect things to kind of pick up as this snow band tries to migrate off to the west here over time. I think with this now we can go back to the full screen radar now. But peak time is definitely going to be within the next few hours, so we could hang out here a while. It's really up to how you guys are feeling. If you want to hang out, then I'm more than happy to. If you want to call this stream in the next hour or so, I'm cool with that too. Right. Let me start acting like I know how to use this thing. So I'm just sitting here just dragging. Also, if there's any chance that someone's watching the football game, definitely let me know what the score is right now, because I haven't, well, kind of a dumb question, but if you could, that'd be awesome. You know, I mean, I have my tablet here, but I don't really like looking down while I'm streaming. I want to kind of pay attention to what's going on the screens. Like whenever this happens, I have to resume that. Because Indiana's DOT system's cheap. I'm getting thirsty. Might get myself something to drink really quickly. Probably keep the main screen up, but I'll turn off the camera. I will be around if there's any questions. I guess just shoot them in chat and I'll answer them as quick as I can. Alright, well, I think we're going to call it here tonight. Appreciate all of you that tuned in. What the heck? Why is Georgia over 10,000 power outages? There's no weather going on here. Anyways, maybe it's a power grid issue. Because it is expected to get cold, but it's still not even at 32 yet. But anyways, everyone have a wonderful rest of your night. And maybe we'll be back tomorrow with another live. We'll definitely have a video up. But to all of you that have hung around, even if it was for about 5 or 10 minutes, appreciate you all. Either way, see you next time. Don't forget to like. You guys probably already subscribed, but if not, definitely urge you to do so. More importantly, if you could hit that share button, definitely need that right now. That being said, everyone have a wonderful night.